Good morning.
Farmer Michelle, are you around?
Pablo, do you know if Mark's going to be joining us today?
So Sage is traveling, so he's probably gonna join us today. Like, he'll be back
Gotcha.
next week. And so, yeah, thank you guys for coming. While we wait for other people to come in, hey, DubstepRod, Puri DG Arts, Natural G. I recognize some of you from the leaderboards we have. There, Mesa, Pixel Mouse. Who else is here? Alex, Cloud Hedges. Thank you for coming, guys. Let's see. Going to Discord. Hey, Wild Gent, how are you? Are you enjoying pizza, Metas? Mr. One Odd Gent, are you there?
Hey, hey, happy Friday, happy AMA. What's going on, fam?
Hey, how are you enjoying those pizzas? I think this
Oh my
month
God,
was designed for you.
I am in heaven. I'm just waiting for
Did
my
you
next
make a
pizza.
party?
May it
Yeah,
never
just
end.
nonstop pizzas.
I'm waiting for the pepperoni pizza, meat pizza, veggie pizza, calzone pizza. I mean, it goes on and on, man. So there's no stopping now.
We got Sage in here.
Oh, Sage here.
Yep, he
I don't
made
know
it.
if you can actually talk, though.
I can talk. Twitter was wanting me to confirm my phone number for them. I'm here. Welcome, everybody. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
loud and clear.
Awesome.
Okay, so we should probably get started. So welcome to the May 19th AMA. You know, I'm gonna invoke Sage here, but we've been doing this for a year now. Is it a year already? I think it is.
Yeah, there's definitely a year.
So
Well, not quite a year, about a 1 month short of a year.
it's almost the same. So our goal is to share information with you. We have very exciting things to share. I don't see Farmer Michelle though. That she might have some connection issues.
I'll keep an eye out for her.
Yeah, but we can get started. So let's go into game updates. I can talk a little bit about that. So there are some questions from the community. I'll try to answer as best as possible, but I know there are some questions about why are we doing daily releases. So the thing that's more important about that is that we are trying to get important fixes out, mostly stability fixes and fixes related to the competition, things that make the game more fair, that make it work as it should, and for everyone to be on the same level field. So this week alone, we have done a bunch of different updates. Yesterday we didn't have one. We skipped yesterday for some internal reasons, but we've been doing them every day for a couple of weeks now. And some of the most important fixes are, you know, some amuser were not saving, so we fixed that. There were scraps that look all weird, and we introduced planes this week, so we fixed those. We added the turbo pump. We added a couple other NFTs that were requested. We fixed the green dragon, which was a big request from a lot of people. So the green dragon express finally working in multiple. So we had an issue where you could only place one. So we fixed that. Relevant to the meta, we had an issue with cows that were not picking up feed from the trough. So that's fixed. There was an issue with the lower house units. And we've done a bunch of internal stability improvements. So, for example, we're seeing that there are a few less disconnects. I know that that's still a problem. We're still working on more fixes. But every time we have a fix like that to reduce disconnects, it's something that we want to get out to you as soon as possible. And also remind everybody, if we have a release each day, it will happen at 6 p.m. Central or 4 p.m. Pacific. So that's the time for releases. If you need to plan around that, that's when it'll happen. And if we don't have a release, we'll try to announce it ahead of time, a couple hours. Now, onto the state of fast forward. So that thing is in testing. We have seen it work. There are a couple of bugs we need to iron out. We want to make sure that when it goes out to you guys is as reliable as possible, that it actually does the thing it needs to do. We don't want to screw up. So we want to make justice to the game and have it done properly the first time around. So minimizing potential issues. But we're testing it. It's working. You can turn it on and off in the settings, which is the expected behavior. So I know that every week people ask. So that's the behavior for each town you have. You can go to settings and turn fast forward on and off, or offline catch up, or whatever you want to call it, right? So that can be turned on and off in case that you're not ready for the game for your town to be self-sustained, right? So that's in testing, and we're moving as fast as we can on that.
Hey, Pablo, I got a question to jump in real quick. Some
Yeah,
people
sure.
are calling that offline play, right? So when we talk about fast forward, everybody, that is the offline mode, if you will. And so here's a question. I know that Volcran's not here today, but we've been talking about getting fast forwarding out, testing it, and for a couple of weeks now. When do we have any better sort of estimate on when it's going to be done and ready? I know it's pending testing, and we've got to make sure that it works really well. Is there any update we can share with people today about that?
So you know that I don't like to promise specifics, but I think that this can go out by the end of next week. We'll
Okay.
have to check.
Okay.
Whenever it's ready, we'll push it out. So those are the kind of things that we want to test thoroughly. Again, it's mostly working. We just need to figure out a couple of issues. But yeah, like as you said, I see that people are asking for offline play. That's what we call fast forwarding. Both are valid. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of notes in there. I think I'm gonna scroll up right now and get to it. Dubstep says, yeah, the estimate was last week, and I remember the estimate was the week before we thought we were gonna get it done. I'll just share with folks. The team is testing that amongst everything else, but when you think about the tests that have to be run, SK is very, very particular. She wants to be able to do a number of tests, like, turn on the game, have two games that are the same, let one play for an hour, turn one off for an hour, and come back to it and make sure that the state's the same. And this just takes some extra time, and when you find a bug, you got to go back and kind of restart some of that testing there. So as Pablo said, the whole goal is to get it very clean and reliable for everybody as much as we can before we go out, send it out and share it out with everybody. Now, we also know, just so everybody's prepared for it, the amount of testing on any game, not just Townstar, but any game that you can do internally with test resources, internal play tests and everything like that, just pales in comparison to the volume of testing when thousands of people are beating on the game every day. And so that's one of the things that we're going to do our best to get as clean as possible. When we go out, there may be some things that you all find that we just didn't find and see. And so once we do that, once we release it, please, when you find bugs, just like anything, submit it, and we'll be able to jump on them quickly. But yeah, this is a big deal. It's a big change to the game. We want to make sure we get it right, especially in light of competitions, especially in light of turning on earnings and all of those things for the future.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Sage. And yeah, like I've seen some questions like, oh, the timeline has changed on that, but please also take into account that we are trying to fix other things that you guys consider important at the same time. So we're working on all of them in parallel. We have different people working on different things. Sometimes they take a little longer because we find bugs, as Sage said. But the other thing that we're doing in the meantime, without fast forwarding or offline play being out, is that we are working on the disconnects. So we push an update the day before on Wednesday that we saw that it reduce somewhat disconnects. That doesn't mean that you're not like, I know that if you're seeing a disconnect, it's like, oh, I didn't see that fix. It fixes it for some people, and we're doing further improvements to reduce disconnects while fast forwarding goes out. So that's what we're working on currently.
Pablo, there's another thing that you mentioned, which I want to just highlight for a second, is you are watching, and we're watching all the bug reports that come out about things that are affecting competitions, and you guys are prioritizing getting those things fixed and turned around every day, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, we have we're checking Discord. We have a form for reporting issues. Farmer Michelle is talking to you guys to figure out what the main issues are. We have Quesera Sera working on the next metas. So we discussed with him and our lovely SK what are priorities to be fixed for those competitions if there are any. So we've been trying to prioritize accordingly both competition fixes and also NFT fixes, like the Green Dragon. That was a big one that we needed to fix, and that's already done. So we have to balance all of these things. But yeah, we are checking the reports and trying to get everything in the pipeline.
Yeah, thanks. And then I see a note from Willow that some of the changes that have been made have been a huge improvement for him. So thanks, guys. And remember too, everybody in the community, I know you've heard me say this before, but when you see something that's working or something that's better, please do share that, because most of the time, as we're looking at comments and issues, it is just a lot of things that aren't working. So a little encouragement now and then is always helpful. Appreciate that, Willow.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. I think that we can move on to our new social media. I don't know what. Do you have you usually use nicknames in these things?
You can just call me Surprise. That's my Discord handle.
What is it? Sorry.
Ninja Surprise, or just
Ninja Surprise. That's so awesome. It's probably the best name I've seen in this group.
Hey, wait a minute.
Far.
What about
my
SageMaker?
name.
What about
Sorry?
SageMaker? You gotta count that for something, right?
So Sage, I really like your nickname, but Ninja Surprise, man.
Sage is cool too.
Ninja works.
I think someone told me once that ninjas and pirates are always cool. Do you know who that is?
Nah, who?
Yeah, I know who
It was
that
Sage.
Ninjas and pirates are always cool.
They are.
Tanks are to boys what horses are to girls. That's another one of those things. So
that's the truth. All right, yeah. So if you guys attended last week's AMA, then you might know who I am. If you did not, then let me introduce myself briefly. But I'm the new social media manager for Townstar, and pretty much like, if you saw the Twitter content so far, I've been really trying to experiment a lot more with more visual content, basically just putting out more notices about a lot of the in-game events that have been going on, such as May Mayhem. We've been going really hard right now with May Mayhem, getting out content about just promoting all the competitions. If you probably check on the weekend, you might actually see the leaderboard that I publish. I try to get the top ranking players within the top 10 published. So I'm doing a lot more collaborative. Sorry, Michelle just came in. So yeah, I'm doing a lot more collaborative work, collaborative ideas, and I've been working to experiment a lot with different social media content. Additionally, I'm trying to nail down a branding, basically just improve the content visually going forth. So definitely be paying attention to the Twitter a lot more often, and I definitely would like to engage with some more conversations with all of you. I've been doing a lot more basically just like replying and just getting in touch and just hearing the community feedback about what you guys would like to see. And one common request I've actually heard from the community was, in fact, that you guys were looking to hear more about or just see more content that's supportive, or just a lot more guides or distilled content to help get new players into the game faster and just get started. So I'm working on some ideas on more helpful content as well. So that's just a little bit of an update about the social media and the current state of the social media. Additionally, just to do like a little shameless plug here, but I also started up a Instagram if you guys would like to support us on Instagram too. I'll drop the handle for the Instagram in the comments section below. But yeah, that's a little bit about the whole social media for Townstar going forward. And I hope you guys continue to enjoy the content that we continue to push out.
Yeah, awesome. If you haven't checked out the content that Surprise Ninja has been pushing out, please do. That's part of our strategy to also have more reach. You guys are asking how can we get more players in. So this is the beginning of that, along with other plans we have for the future. So thank you, Ninja Surprise. Please add to the Discord channel whatever you want to showcase. So next up, SageMaker.
Art.
Yeah.
I
Do you
jumped
have
the
anything to
gun.
share?
I was trying to load up the art to be ready, and I released it before you finished talking, with the expectation it would take a minute to upload, but my connection's very fast today. So shared some really cool art out there. Again, just sharing what we're doing as we're making our way through the pipeline of concept into finished artwork. So you can see the lumberjack house, the bakery, and boxing facility, water, power plant, but also the 2D test board there. That's what Gina Bobina creates. And sorry, I forgot our artist's Discord name, but they're working on this together with a third-party art house. And the good news I just heard in an update 2 days ago is that we're going to start getting more pieces of this new finished game art into our engine, into our game. Now, whether that's going to show up for people, you might see something show up in the store for purchase. Maybe it's not going to be functional, but we're going to try to get that in the game, at least so us on the team can see it, and maybe some of that will go out just for temporary, so people can look at it and kind of get an idea. And we make sure that weird stuff doesn't happen on people's machines. But yeah, that's where we're at with this. Just continue to plow through this. You guys know that there's a ton of NFTs, and we're spending a lot of time and energy to try to get this out. It won't come out in May, but as I mentioned before, expectations that we'll start trying to roll out at least some of it either late June or early July. Yeah, and that's where it is in the cycle. So yeah, nothing else on art. Musashi or Paulo, there was something else I think you brought up about art, but I can't remember. So if you remember that, go ahead and share.
About art? No, I think you covered, but
I got
mostly,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
So to summarize, yeah, we're starting to introduce the new art into the engine itself. We're gonna check it, give feedback, and get it out as soon as we can. The time frame that Sage is giving is pretty accurate, I think, and it's looking great. So please do expect an overhaul of the look of the game soon enough. Okay, so Farmer Michelle finally contacted us, saying they having connection issues, so
Hey, Michelle, welcome.
she'll be here soon.
I'm here.
Oh, she's here. Cool. Welcome, Farmer Michelle.
Happy Friday.
Max Power was just asking about you, Michelle.
I'm here. Don't worry.
Hey, welcome. So we'll move on to Q&A, right?
Yeah. The first question I have here is how long can a single gameplay session on Godot last? Do we have to refresh it periodically, or is it allowed to run it longer?
So you'll notice that well, so first of all, Vulkan is out for a couple of days, so I'll be answering some of those questions to the best of my ability, but this goes into design, so I can answer that. Basically, when you go into the game, the main menu, you have two options: casual, and then you have competitions or events. So competitions, that open and close in a time window, and you can't access that town after the window closes. For casual, you can. We don't have like like Townstar Legacy had, we don't have a regular nuking, but we will have it once earnings start. That will be monthly. So at the end, like the last day and the last second of the month, all towns will be nuked in casual mode. For now, I do recommend nuking after we push the changes to the meta. So, for example, for this competition, for Cheese Meta, for Cheese Pizza, sorry, we came back to the quote office right on Saturday, and SK and I pushed the updates so you can try it out, right? So once we do and we announce it, you can nuke your casual town, start a new town, and you basically will have the same town as the competition that's starting on Tuesday. So please be on the lookout for that. We'll be announcing that probably tomorrow when it happens. But we are ready to, we're basically ready to push the things for the next meta. So be ready to nuke your casual town when it does. What the next meta is, just hold on tight. It's coming.
Awesome, thank you. The next question I have, in Townstar Godot, is there any reward system and rewards like we had in Townstar Legacy? Example, play for 14 days, do one trade, and get the free NFT. And the answer to that is yes, there is. It's the same as it was in the Townstar Legacy game. So you get a small storage this month, the common storage for playing 10 days, and I think it's 25 trades. There's the uncommon one for running your node for 10 days for 6 hours a day. And there's the rare one for playing for 25 days and making a total of 75 trades. All that information is right in the Townstar FAQ channel, and you can find it there. It lists all the old ones that we gave away and the ones for this month. I believe the one for last month should be sent out very soon. And I think that's all I've got for that question. So let's move on to the next one here. It says, I noticed that the Miranda's Vox is no longer in the new Townstar game inventory. Is this temporary?
Yes. So basically, that ties into earnings and daily challenge, right? So we said before, the daily challenge is our top priority after stability, stability fixes and fast forwarding. So expect those things to be available right before or at the same time as daily challenge and earnings is turned back in. Just a reminder here, though, some people may not have been here around January, but we did a recalibration of the Miranda's Vox and Vox NFTs regarding TownCoin for daily challenge. So Farmer Michelle, please link to that documentation on Discord when you can, and people can check it out. But basically, yes, they will be back right at the same time as daily challenge and earnings.
Yeah, that new earning information is right in the Townstar FAQ channel with all the other helpful information. So if you don't spend a lot of time over there, go over there and check it out. And I will post it right here in the main discussion channel as well.
Sounds like just a nice moment to give a slight commercial for that FAQ channel. Do you want to share more about what's there, Michelle?
Yeah, let me open it up and we'll just start right at the top.
While you're opening it, as Michelle and I have talked for literally months now about, hey, how can we get more information out to the community? It's in a lot of this stuff is already in the FAQ channel, but what we're finding is that maybe people don't know about it or people don't take time to read it. It is just chock full of good data.
Let's see. It looks like the first couple things are just some basic gameplay stuff. We've got like how to place an NFT, which I should update the button for now that we've got those fancy looking new buttons in Godot. Then the Townstar rules are posted in there. There's a whole guide on how proximity effects work right from the townstar.com website. And that's there. We've got information on what Gala Gold is, all the details about what a membership is, how to get it, what you get when you join. And we've got some information on how to set up your gasoline if it's your first time ever playing. There's a nice little visual in there. It lists all the different ingredients that you'll need for gasoline and how to go about starting your first ever gasoline build. There's some information about oak trees, but I feel like that might be slightly irrelevant now that we've moved to Godot. I think that the pathing is a little bit different, so I should probably think about updating that. There's a quick guide on the common ways that people scale up the game. Most people use Flower Rush, Sugar Rush, or Wool Rush these days. And there's a little list of what types of things you would need in order to do those types of early game rushes. It's a little visual of freshwater versus saltwater so that everybody can tell what the difference is when you're looking at the map. There's two different documents in here on like gameplay guides. There's the playbook from DubstepRod, which I'm sure most of you have seen. If you haven't, you should definitely check it out because it's got pretty much all the information that you'll ever need. And then there's another one that is from us that just has the basic information for what the points are and what the cash level is for all the different crops. Get that in there as well. And the crops and the rest of the goods. There's some information on the proximity pop-up and what those little icons each mean. We've got a couple of other helpful community guides in here. There's a Townstar cheater reporting form, which I don't think we need anymore either, but that's in there in case you want to report someone for cheating in the game or any other way. We do check it out every week. We've got a little guide from Tofu that he made. Has craft trees and stuff, which comes in handy if you're trying to figure out how to make a fancy cake and you forget what all the different ingredients are. There's a nice little visual guide on how to get from nothing to fancy cake. We've got a little bit of information on precision placement. If you're having trouble understanding the reasoning behind why we went and switched it to precision placement or what it means in terms of gameplay, there's a little video in there on how to use it and an Excel photograph that I made to describe how it kind of works when you're using it. And then we've got the list of NFTs for every month, the free ones that you get just from playing the game and how to get them all. There's a little list of information on when earnings will return. There's no exact dates in there since we don't have an exact date, but I try to keep that information as up to date as possible. So if you're curious about earnings and when they will start up again and what they will look like, definitely check that out before you start asking questions in the discussion channel because there's a good chance that it's pretty well updated in the FAQ.
Yeah, that's cool. So there's a lot of stuff in there. So
yeah,
just encourage people to jump over there. Got a few minutes, jump over there, maybe just do a search on your question that you might be thinking about. But again, community is super supportive. So thank you everybody for answering the questions that new folks have, or maybe people who are short on time to go ahead and do that search. Now, one of the things you mentioned, and I'm gonna go off script, guys. So be ready. It should be straightforward. People are asking about when earnings, right? And I know that that's always the top of our minds. It's something that we talk about internal to the team. But we've been having some discussions in the last week about figuring that out. Pablo, is there anything we can share on that other than that we've just been having meetings? Have any planning, any roadmap set for that yet?
So we're actually meeting about that today with the leads of the team. We've been checking out what we need from, that that's going to involve some work in the new platform, Geary, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that also ties into that. But we are discussing that today and how do we come up with a plan and ETA for it, probably by midweek next week. We should have the plan and put it in motion.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, so as Pablo mentioned, there is work that we have to make sure as we integrate with Jiri, make sure that works. But yeah, so that's good news. There's another quick note, and then I'll let us get back to our agenda. So we did the Gala V2 conversion early in the week. I know that Bitbender and the rest of the tech team worked really hard. Well, Bitbender and the tech team here at Gala worked really hard to make sure that go off as smoothly as it could. There were some exchanges that kind of didn't handle the transition very well, no matter how much Bitbender and everybody worked with them to get them all set up. And so if you've had issues with them, they're the people to talk to. But otherwise, we are now the world is now on Gala V2, or we're just calling it Gala. And if you had some old Gala, it's now in your wallets as Gala V1. And as Bitbender mentioned, do whatever you want with it. It's not a currency we support anymore. So that's all. I think we can go back to our regular scheduled programming now, guys. I'll stop throwing new stuff off agenda into the meeting here.
Sweet. Well, the next question I have here on our question list says, when will the community have access to an API where they can pull data like the leaderboard standings?
Right. So that's actually something that Bulkern can talk about when he's back. But I can tell that that's definitely in the plans. Like, it's something we always want to do. It's just that we're concentrating on fast forward stability and then earnings, which is our highest priority. So it's coming at some point.
Awesome. We'll have to make sure that we ask Volcron about it again next week so that he can explain it more to us. And the last question that I have here says, will the storage indicators be back? You know, the storage indicators were those little bars on your storages in the live game that showed how close they were to full.
Yeah, is that something that a lot of people want back? Just trying to gauge the interest in that feature. What do you guys say in Discord?
Let's see. I see
Any
people
comments,
typing.
guys? Oh, a lot of people typing. Oh, I see mixed reactions. No, I see a little bit more yes. Please improve it. I mean, it's an indicator for oh, I see.
Do you feel like most people want it?
Yeah, I see a couple that say meh, but as an option. So that's something that we can definitely put in the pipeline. Again, we have other priorities first, but if a lot of you guys want it, we can definitely plan it and put it in our schedule. Okay.
I'm seeing lots of yeses.
Yep, me too.
Yep.
All right, do we want to move on to leaks? Or do we want to do live
Nah.
questions first? We can always just skip leaks. They don't need any leaks this week, right? You guys don't want any leaks? Right, who's even taking leaks this week? Is that K Sarah?
Hey everyone,
also,
happy Friday. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I see that some people are saying, hey, fix this, fix that. I mean, we appreciate those reports, but just gotta say, guys, please use the forum or talk to Michelle, Farmer Michelle, and say, hey, fix this, which is broken in this way, right? We need as much information as you can give us so that we can prioritize those bugs and get them in the pipeline. So please, when you report something, either through the forum or to Farmer Michelle, just say, hey, this is doing this, and it should actually be doing that, right? That's super helpful for us. It helps us get the fixes out faster to you guys. Sorry, go ahead, guys.
Yes, happy Friday, folks. So the next meta, like before I talk about the next meta, I'd love to know what people have thought about the pizzas meta so far. Did you like it? Did you guys have fun? How was it?
I'm pretty sure everyone had fun.
Well, I feel like I need to apologize to you, Todd, because sadly we are not gonna have pizzas anymore. I think we've had enough pizzas in the last few weeks, and it's time to watch our calories a little bit. But we are not yet ready to say goodbye to cheese. Next week will be risotto. The first ingredient, I'm sure you can guess it, is cheese. It will require cheese, milk, and white rice. Today, I'm not going to tell you just how much of each. You'll have to see for yourself when the game actually, when it goes live in the game. But I'll tell you about the town though. This time, we decided to make things a little bit harder and hopefully a little bit more fun for everyone. You will not have any special edges for the next week's meta. So keep your water towers and fountains ready. Other than that, it will be the same as last week. Your biome will be plains. It will cost you 1 gas and 80 seconds to trade. So that's all I have for the meta right now. We'll come back with more details shortly.
Oh man, everybody wants to know exactly how it's all made.
Soon.
Well,
We'll get an announcement out today.
it's definitely cheese. So I was confused when Kesera just said we need to watch our calories, and then, oh, there's just more cheese.
Cheese is healthy. It's good fat.
If you say so.
All right, what other leaks do we have this morning? Anyone?
I have a leak.
Just waiting
Go for it.
Right. I mean, I'm still gathering myself from the pizza streak being over, but hopefully everyone did enjoy the 4-cheese pizza meta. I think the reward, you guys will see, it's pretty juicy. Got something really cool for the ghost card in that one. And I'm going to drop both a picture and a GIF. It's that kind of Friday. We got the Grapevine Express right here. There it is. All its glory, 5 rarities. So hopefully everybody placed really high. I was loving hearing people tag me or mention to me or just to the community about they made their first pizza, they're on a roll. Like, it's awesome. You know, please keep that up. Keep the enthusiasm, the energy. It not just makes the community happy, but also us. Like, I enjoy nothing more but to work on these rewards for all the time and effort you guys put in. So this is awesome, and hopefully the leak is just as cool. But on the note of cool things, what do you guys think about that homepage takeover for Townstar with Nicole? I mean, just want to take a moment and say how kick-ass that was for us to have that spotlight. Again, you guys make it happen by just being involved, playing the game. So a big, big thank you. And yeah, this May Mayhem, to me, I think it's like my favorite ones so far. So hopefully the feeling is mutual. And yeah, that is the Todd leak of the week. So hopefully many, many, many more to come. Enjoy the AMA, the Friday, and have an awesome weekend.
Thanks. Thanks for the awesome leak. That NFT art is absolutely beautiful. Love those new cards. What else do we have for leaks here? I feel like that's about it. We can either do open questions or we can talk about what's going to be on sale on Monday.
Maybe take a couple more questions for community. I keep
Let's
seeing
do
some
it.
people popping stuff in there. Yeah, just one quick note. So everybody who loved the takeover art, that was what on Gent's work there. If you're wondering where the brilliance and the beauty came from and the awesomeness, that was his work. So, and it was really, really cool. Someone said make it permanent. We wouldn't do that, but that is part of that larger effort. You know, one of the things people ask us about all the time, when are you going to grow the community? Well, you just heard from Ninja Surprise, right? There's one start. We've got also Que Sera Sera and Ex Diablo working in background on various email and marketing campaigns there. We have a page takeover. We now got the Instagram account going. So yeah, we're going to start working on this more and more and new things in terms of growing the community. So it's all part of the larger plan. So let's jump into some questions. What questions is everybody seeing here? on stage. What do you see?
First question I see says, when will the maze bonus be in, and when will when will we sell a diamond storehouse? Which I don't think we're going to answer. And then another question that says, when will Gala be available again on OpenSea? I'm not 100% sure what OpenSea's plan is for when they're going to return Gala. I would imagine it won't be too far from now, but that's an OpenSea decision, not a Gala decision. I don't know if Pablo has any updates on when the maze bonus will be in, other than that we're working on it.
Yeah, we do have a ticket for that. So I actually just bumped it up in priority yesterday, I think. So hoping to get that done soon.
Wait a minute. You bumped it up in priority, and somebody asked a question about mazes that I haven't heard of for months. Did you plant that question, man?
No. I mean, I know the community has been asking, so I'm not joking, but they have been asking about the maze fix
Gotcha.
for a week or 2 weeks. So we have that. So I actually this things that we shouldn't probably say, but I have a meeting in like 1 or 2 hours to discuss general fixes to all of the NFTs. So the plan, we're putting the plan together to get all of that functionality done as soon as possible, including the mazes.
Cool. See a question. Smoogie says, and sorry, dude, I can't remember if it's Smoogie or Smoogie, but when will comps start be put back to the original time from a few months back?
They are the same UTC time as they've always been. It's just that some parts of the world went into daylight savings and other parts of the world did not. And we stuck with UTC time, which did not do daylight savings. So they are the exact same time they've always been in some time zones.
RG Smoogie. Right? There you go.
I see a question from Nacho asking when the Noir Hero will make it into game. I know that those are ERC 721s, so they're a bit more complicated than the rest of the ERC 1155s.
Yeah, we do have a couple that are, they're like a different type of NFT. I'll look for it. I think we have it in our list. So it will be prioritized along with the other things.
Any thoughts on shortening the competition time by a day or two?
Shortening the competition?
Yeah.
I don't know what. I think that we, Farmer Michelle told me that we have experimented with different length for competition before, right?
Yeah, last May Mayhem we did 4 or 5 different length competitions, and then we did a poll at the end of May Mayhem to see what everybody liked the best, and 4 days won, which is why we stuck with 4 days for the last year.
There's a question from M. Wallen. Will there be daily updates next meta also? And if so, can you change the time that works for Europe and Asia this time? I think, yeah, we've already talked about the update schedule in terms of, Pablo mentioned doing those updates to improve, fix bugs on competitions, basically competition relevant updates, as well as other key features that we think have to go out. But in terms of changing the time, guys, have we had any discussions on that?
It is something that we can discuss, but I'm not sure. So the thing with the world is that it's round, right? So whatever time we define, like someone's gonna have an issue with that. So I don't know what time we could do. Is it 2 hours before, 3 hours before? What do the people in Europe and Asia say? Anyone on Discord?
Yeah, I'll just jump in and say most of our Townstar players are in the US time zones, so it just benefits a lot more people having it this way.
Right. So we have discussed internally in the team when to do the updates too. So we'll look into that. Maybe we can bring it down 1 hour or two. We'll announce it if necessary. But yeah, I mean, if we do an update, it's because we are adding NFTs that you guys are asking for, or fixing stuff with NFTs that are already out, or adding stability. So if we don't have something like that, we won't do a release that day. But we're doing that. Like we're getting those things in every day right now. Expect that to be improved when fast forward goes out, and we are moving as fast as we can with that feature.
What other live questions we got out there? Billy, no, I'm not going to do a poll on the update time. We're going to do what works best for the team.
Let me add just the extra little bit on there. When you're saying best for the team, it's best for what we see as a team in terms of what the community has to do, and the timing of getting the releases out on a regular beat. And the time that we picked later in the evening is so that we can get something that where majority of the players are there and able to, if your game gets disconnected, can jump into it. But also gives the team enough time to test during the day to get the changes out and get them, make sure that they're good and solid before we release them. We could we could try to keep the team up all night and release at 3 a.m. But that would just really make things harder for everybody, because tired team members make more bugs and all that kind of stuff. So it's really about trying to do what's best for the project overall, best for community. And yeah, we know it's not going to be perfect, but as I've mentioned a couple times before, the team is working really hard, doing their best to try to get stuff fixed and changed and updated as soon as possible.
I see people asking now about when the next round of rewards will go out. I'm not sure if K-Sarasra talked about it all in those first 15 minutes here that I missed. But I did make 2 announcements already this week with estimated timelines for when the rewards would be out. That most recent one says by the end of the week. So it is Friday. We will see if they make it out today. I don't know if K-Sarasra has any updates on that.
Yes, the list is ready. They should make it out today.
Super. What other live questions we got out there, guys?
Will there be ice cream? From Mugiwara.
I do love to eat ice
Right.
cream.
So that's an interesting question. He was asking about cold biome or cold super tiles. And that's something we discussed with Diablo yesterday. Like, oh, we can actually add these things fairly easily now. So that is something that we could do. Now we've done food 2 months in a row, so maybe we can try something else. But I do love the idea of ice cream. Are there any other questions?
Let's see here. We've got one from Mr. Pottymouth asking if we're removing multi-accounters from the leaderboards and from rewards, and the answer to that is yes. We're definitely doing our best. Boys, we'll get full meta details out in an announcement soon. And I imagine that the new meta will be in probably on Saturday. I'm not sure if we mentioned that already.
So that's what we did last Saturday. We waited like I think an hour or 2 hours after the competition ended, and then SK and myself did the push and announced it in Discord. So expect something like that tomorrow too.
Seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, you're punting on questions about cheaters and stuff." Why don't we just save that and cover that next week? Given that we're getting down close to the end of time. Yeah, just be a little more supportive, guys. The team's working hard on stuff. Let's see. Do we have anything similar to the corrupted portal in the future? That's actually a question for Pablo. I think we've answered about 3 times before, but maybe we could talk about it again.
The corrupted portal.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'd say that that and the oh man, I forgot. Farmer Mitchell, what's the name of the other one?
Research Center?
Yeah. Yes.
The research center, yeah. So those things are being planned for a bigger change, let's say, that involves light paper earnings and stuff like that. So be on standby. We don't plan on having the corrupted portal in anytime soon, but we have plans for those things regarding daily challenges and stuff like that.
Wow, there's a lot of people saying no portal. Interesting. What else is on our agenda?
That's really all I have aside from the sale information. Nope, that's about it then.
Okay, one last question. Can we get leaderboards outside the game? Interesting. We'll take a note of that. I know a lot of people are asking for APIs to be able to get that as well.
Once this competition ends and we get the leaderboards and the rewards go out, I will be posting the actual leaderboard list right in the announcement channel.
Cool.
So it'll be right there. We'll keep a nice spreadsheet for all of May Mayhem so you guys can look back and see where you ranked. Any other last minute questions here? Off-grid Rancher, I'm not sure what you're talking about the paved road. The paved road NFT is in the game already. GG Mal moved over to Meow Match. He's helping them out with their big NFT launch. He's doing awesome stuff.
All right, is that a wrap? Oh, did we get
it might be.
Agenda? A few minutes early. Cool. Anybody else on stage have anything to bring up? Last bit of notes. Last minute, something we might have forgot to share.
Nothing.
Nothing. People are asking about the sale. No sale? No sale? Sale. We are breaking the pattern here, aren't we?
There will definitely be something, but we'll give out details maybe tomorrow or day after.
Got it. So no sale information right now, but maybe coming soon. All right. Well, I guess we're going to call that a wrap, guys. If you can tell, teams working. There's a lot of stuff going on in parallel right now, and I know some of the teamers looking at issues in Slack right now that are popping up that we can address as we go forward. One of the challenges of working on Townstar any live game is that you have 2 parallel paths of work that has to be done. One is supporting the live community and fixing bugs and addressing issues, and the other one is working on new features and getting stuff turned back on, like earnings, and getting the new art done. So a lot of things happening in parallel. So the team's working hard for everybody. And I think with that, we'll just call today a wrap. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again, everybody. We really appreciate your support. Your polite, thoughtful, and constructive comments and feedbacks are always welcome. And we'll do our best to address them. If you ever see me put 2 eyeballs next to your note, that means I've shared it with the team. And please don't just keep pinging me or anybody else with the same question over and over. There's forms to fill out if you have ideas, suggestions, bug reports, and everything. please use those forms. It just makes it easier for all of us. And I do know Michelle does check the weekly AMA question form, and we're often disappointed when we look at it. There's only two or three questions in there. So make use of that. That'll make it easier on us. And thank you everybody for on stage too for joining us today. And one last note, everybody in the community, thank you for answering all the questions. For new folks that join us, you're a critical part of getting the community to grow. And with that, I think we'll call it a wrap. Thanks everybody for joining us. Goodbye. Have a great day.
Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great
Thank you,
weekend,
guys.
guys.
See you guys.
Everybody in the community.